Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Beyond the Mind Hypnotherapy. My name is Talib, and I'll be your guide on this journey of healing the inner child. Please do not listen to this recording if you are operating heavy machinery or driving a car or doing anything that requires your undivided attention. Well now, and you can sit there comfortably or lie there comfortably, and you can become aware that you are here in this moment, in this place. And for these next moments, you don't need to be the adult you are in the world. You don't need to be responsible for anything. You don't need to perform or prove or protect. You can simply be here. Be present. Be with whatever is here for you today. And you can become aware of your breathing, that steady, fateful rhythm, the breath that has been with you since your very first moment, since the first time you opened your eyes to this world, since before you had words, since before you knew how to be anyone other than simply yourself. And you can become aware of your eyelids, those gentle guardians. And you might wonder which one will feel ready to close first, the right one or the left one, or perhaps they'll both close together. Whenever they're ready. And you don't need to help them. You don't need to try, because your eyes, they know how to close. They've done it many times before. Every night when you sleep, they know the way. And whenever they're ready, you can allow them to remain closed for as long as you wish. And you can enter that private space, that inner world, where a very special meeting is possible. A meeting you've been waiting for, perhaps without even knowing it. And with your eyes closed, you can become aware of the darkness behind your eyelids. a soft, accepting darkness, a space that holds you as you were then, as you are now, as you are becoming. This space, it's safe, it's private, it's yours. And you can notice your breathing, not changing it, just noticing the rise and fall, the gentle rhythm, and you might notice that with each breath out, you can let go just a little bit more of the adult world, of responsibility, of time, of the need to be grown. You can simply breathe and become a little softer, a little younger, a little more open. And as you continue to breathe, you might notice a gentle heaviness in your limbs, or perhaps a lightness, or a warmth, or a coolness. And it doesn't matter which, because each sensation is simply your body settling, trusting, allowing itself to return to an earlier time, a simpler time, a time before so many things were decided. And I don't know which hand will begin to feel different. Your right hand or your left hand, or perhaps both. But one of them, or both, might begin to feel as if it could float, as if it attached to many powerful helium balloons, gently lifting, rising just a little. And you might be surprised to notice that one hand feels lighter. The rest of you can sink deeper, deeper into that comfortable state, a pleasant disassociation, a wonderful letting go. And that's right. because your unconscious mind can do many things at once. It can allow one hand to float while the rest of your body rests deeply. And you can listen to my words and my voice, and it can begin the important work, the deep work of returning, of remembering, of healing. And you can imagine a house that you knew very well. Perhaps the house you grew up in, or perhaps a house that only existed in your imagination. And in this house, there is a room that you haven't visited in a very long time. Perhaps you forgot it was there. Perhaps you chose not to visit it. Perhaps you didn't know how to find the door. But the room, it's still there, waiting, patient, quiet. And in this room, there is a child. A child who has been waiting for you. Waiting for you to come back. Waiting for you to remember. Waiting for you to open the door. And you can approach that door now. In your own time, in your own way. You can place your hand on the knob, on that doorknob, and you can feel, perhaps, a flutter in your chest, a tightness in your throat, a holding of breath. And that's okay. That's natural. That's the feeling of something important, something true. Something waiting to be seen. And when you're ready, you can turn the knob and open the door and step inside. And there, in the room, is the child you were, the child who laughed and cried and wondered, the child who wanted to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, The child who learned, sometimes too early, to be small, to be quiet, to be good, to be invisible. The child who carried things that were too heavy, who understood things that were too big, who waited and waited and waited for someone to come. And you can see this child now. You can see their face, their eyes, the way they hold themselves. You can see the aliveness in them, and also perhaps the hurt, the loneliness, the longing. And you can approach this child slowly, gently, the way you would approach a small animal who has been hiding for a very long time. You can kneel down so you are at their level, so they don't have to look up, so they can see your eyes and know that you are safe. And you can say in your own words or in the words that come to you now, something like, I'm here now. I came back. I'm sorry it took so long. And the child, they might be shy. They might be scared. They may not believe you at first. And that's okay. Because they've been waiting a long time. And trust takes time. So you can just sit with them, be with them, let them feel your presence. Let them feel that you're not leaving. Not this time. And you can say, I see you. I see how hard you try. I see how much you carry. I see how brave you were, even when you were scared. I see you. And as you say these words, you might notice the child's shoulders relax just a little. Their breath might deepen just a little. Their eyes might meet yours for a moment and then look away and then meet yours again. And you can imagine a garden that was planted long ago by a child. The child planted seeds with hope, with wonder, with the simple belief that things would grow. And then, for reasons the child didn't understand, the garden was neglected. The weeds grew. The path became overgrown. And the child was told to go inside, to stop playing, to be quiet, to be grown. And the seeds, they didn't stop wanting to grow. They waited beneath the soil, beneath the weeds, beneath the years. They waited for someone to return, to clear the weeds, to water the soil, to say, it's okay now, you can grow. And you are the one who can return to that garden. You can kneel down in the soil. You can pull the weeds gently, one by one. You can water the dry earth, and you can wait patiently for the seed to remember what it feels like to reach toward the light. And you can ask the child in your own way, what did you need then? What didn't you get? What did you need to hear? What did you need to feel? And the child, they may not have words. Children often don't. But you can feel, perhaps, an answer, a need, a longing. Perhaps they needed to be held. Perhaps they needed to be told they were enough. Perhaps they needed someone to stand up for them. Perhaps they needed permission to be small, to make mistakes, to not know everything. Perhaps they needed someone to say, I've got you. You're safe. You don't have to do this alone. And you can give that to them now. You can hold them in your mind, in your heart. You can wrap them in a blanket of warmth and safety. You can say the words they need to hear. You can be the adult, the protector, the nurturer that they didn't have then. And as you give this to them, you might feel something shifting, a softening, a releasing, a letting go of something that has been held for so very long. And you can imagine a bridge that spans a great distance between then and now, between the child you were and the adult you are. And on one side of the bridge stands the child, small, waiting, hoping. On the other side stands you, the adult you are now, stronger, wiser, more capable. And the bridge, it's made of something strong. Perhaps it's made of love. Perhaps it's made of understanding. Perhaps it's made of the simple truth that the child and the adult are the same being, connected, always connected, even when forgotten. And you can walk across that bridge now, from the adult side to the child side. And you can take the child's hand gently, and you can say, "Come with me." You don't have to stay here anymore. You don't have to wait anymore. I'm taking you with me. And you can walk back across the bridge together, the child's hand in yours, their steps, small at first, then stronger, their eyes looking up at you with something new, trust, relief, hope. And you can bring this child into your life now, into your adult body, into your adult heart. You can give them a place to live inside you, where they'll never be abandoned again, where they will be seen, where they will be loved, where they will finally be allowed to grow. And from this day forth, when you feel afraid or small or not enough, you can recognize that feeling as the child asking for your attention. And you can turn to them inside. And you can say, I see you. I've got you. We're safe now. I'm here. And you can hold them and comfort them and be for them what you needed then. Because you are that adult now. You have the resources. You have the wisdom. You have the love. And there is an old story about a vessel that was cracked. And the owner, instead of discarding it, he filled the crack with gold. And the vessel became more beautiful, more precious, more valuable than before. Because the cracks, the places where it had been broken, were now filled with something beautiful, something that honored the breaking, something that transformed it. And you have cracks, cracks from the childhood that wasn't perfect, cracks from the things you needed and didn't get, cracks from the things you carried that were too heavy. And those cracks, they aren't flaws. They are places where gold can go. Places where you can fill yourself with your own love, your own compassion, your own presence. And you can fill those cracks now with gold, with the gold of your adult love for that child, with the gold of your presence, your commitment, your promise that you will never abandon them again. And you can imagine yourself in the future, perhaps tomorrow, next week, next month, moving through your day with a new companion, the child, not as a burden, not as a wound, but as a part of you, beloved part, a part that brings joy and wonder and playfulness, a part that reminds you that you are not just the responsible adult, but also the one who can laugh at bubbles, who can be delighted by a butterfly, who can look at the world with fresh eyes. And you can see yourself in a moment of stress. And instead of reacting from the old pattern, you pause, you turn inward, you check on the child, you ask, how are we? What do we need? And you give it. Kind words, a deep breath, a moment of gentleness. And you can see yourself in a moment of joy, laughing freely, without holding back, without worrying what others think, because the child is there, reminding you how to laugh, how to play, how to be fully alive, and feel in that future self a deep wholeness, a deep integration, a deep peace. Because you are no longer divided, no longer split between the adult you had to become and the child you had to leave behind. You are whole, one, complete, and you can make a promise now to that child, a promise that you will keep, a promise that comes from the deepest part of you. I will never leave you again. I will always come when you call. I will protect you. I will nurture you. I will let you play. I will let you feel. I will let you be exactly who you are. You are safe now. You are loved now. You are home. And the child, they hear you. They feel you. And something inside them relaxes. Something that has been tight for so very long begins to loosen, and they can finally rest. And soon, in a little while, you can begin to return to the room. You can bring the child with you. They are part of you now. They always were. But now, you know. Now, you are connected. Now, you are whole. And on some level, you can begin to become aware of the room again. The sounds, the temperature, the surface beneath you. And you can begin to move your fingers and your toes gently, bringing awareness back to your physical body. This body that holds both the adult and the child. This body that is now home to both. And you can allow your breathing to become just a little deeper, a little fuller, bringing fresh oxygen, fresh life, fresh wholeness to every cell. And when you're ready, in your own time, in your own way, you can allow your eyes to open, bringing back with you all the benefits of this experience, all the healing, all the connection, all the wholeness into the rest of your day and into all the days ahead, knowing, deeply knowing, that the child is safe, the child is loved, the child is whole, and you are whole. That's right.